Hello Frag fam, welcome to another video by Proverbs 27:9 Fragrances, and doing a special video today. And it's special because although I have mentioned this fragrance several times, it's appeared in several top 10 videos and best of videos. I've compared it to a lot of different fragrances, but I've never done a full review on Heritage by Guerlain. It's one of my all-time favorite fragrances, and I was just in a good mood today and thought, I think I'm going to review Heritage. So let's get into it. Heritage is a 1992 release by Jean-Paul Guerlain, who was the owner and perfumer at the time. And Heritage was released as his ode to all of the great French-style classic masculine fragrances. And so it was supposed to encompass and encapsulate all the great tradition of French perfumery and show its heritage. And I appreciate that. Children are heritage from the Lord, the Bible tells us, and we've got a goodly heritage passed down throughout the generations. And so this idea of heritage was something that appealed to me. Now, as I have said in previous videos, when I first bought it, I smelled it, and it was so different from what I was smelling at the time, which was just regular popular designer fragrances, Dior Sauvage, Acqua di Gio Profumo. I think the most, the only niche fragrance I had ever smelled at that time was, and Tom Ford's not really niche because he's a designer, he's just a high-end designer. I had a bottle of Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. But the majority of what I owned and smelled at the time was just the popular, designer fragrances. And so I get this, and it's so different. I smelled it. I thought, oh, that's interesting, and I just put it in my drawer, and I didn't smell it again for like 6 months or a year. It had been suggested actually off of, I think, maybe a Demi Rawling video. She was doing some top 10 list of, these masculine fragrances that she loved, classic masculine fragrances. And I remember on that list, it seemed like there was Dark Rebel, which I'd got a sample of, and there was Bottega Veneta Pour Homme I got a sample of, and Guerlain Heritage, and so, among others. So again, like I said, I got it, and I smelled it, and thought it was interesting, but didn't think it was for me, put it in a drawer. But when I got it out 6 months to a year later, whenever it was, and after I'd smelled a lot more fragrances, a lot different styles, and it wasn't just shower gel freshies. I started smelling other genres of fragrances when I took it out, because I'll tell you, Bottega Veneta Pour Homme was the one that made me think. I had fallen in love with it so much that I remembered in my mind, I thought, that Guerlain fragrance smelled, in my brain, it smelled similar to that. So I went and found it and pulled it out. And when I smelled it, it blew Bottega Veneta Pour Homme out of the water to me. It was so much better. And again, Bottega Veneta Pour Homme, I wish it wasn't discontinued. The Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Toilette, if you've had it or smelled it, it is so nothing compared to the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum version. It's nothing compared to it. It's so dull compared to the Parfum. So Heritage is like that in that it has this bright blast of an opening. It's so, and the notes are, it's so well blended, it's hard to just pick out one note. I've said before, this is one of those fragrances that has every note in the apothecary in it. One of the most famous notes, Guerlain, is not even listed on Fragrantica, but we know that it's in it. Guerlain is the specific note that was designed by I believe Jean-Paul Guerlain, it may have been his father, that it was a blend of different things. It's a secret ingredient, but Guerlain, it's a Shalimar, it's in Habit Rouge, it's here definitely in Heritage, even though it's not listed. But let me list some of the notes. Lavender, aldehydes, juniper berries, clary sage, bergamot, lemon, violet, green notes, and petitgrain are the top notes. And what you get on the top is you get this blast of citrusy freshness. The aldehydes, you get an herbalness from the petitgrain and the clary sage. But that lemon and bergamot mixed with the violet and the lavender on the top gives us this, and the juniper also gives us this real juicy blast. Quickly you can begin to smell the middle notes: patchouli, coriander, geranium, pepper, rose, balsam fir, carnation, pink pepper, orris root, jasmine, and lily of the valley. Cyclamen as well, cyclamen, I don't know how to say that. It's a flower. So immediately, the top starts to give way a little bit, and those flowers and those spices and peppers and that patchouli, all of that starts to come into focus with the balsam. And the middle part is this really nice, peppery, woody. It's kind of opens like a citrus aromatic, and then the middle part is kind of like a woody, spicy. And then in the base, it dries down to a creamy sandalwood and amber, which just gives it this nice, creamy resonance. Oak moss, cedar, and musk gives it that classic, mossy, woody dry down. And this thing lasts for hours and hours. Tobacco's not listed, but there is a subtle tobacco note there. It may be just an accord made by, some of the other things, the cedar and oak musk and the amber. But it smells a little like there's a little tobacco. But anyways, it is absolutely the classiest, one of the most classy, masculine, beautiful fragrances that I've ever smelled. I think Zeno by Davidoff may have been a little bit of an inspiration to it, because I believe Zeno come out first. Let me check that. They smell similar, although Zeno is definitely not as well blended. It's a little rougher. It's not as high quality. But they do smell similar. And yeah, Zeno was 86. So I think Zeno may have been one of them that was used as, some inspiration. I think definitely Shalimar, their own fragrance, was used as inspiration. And probably Eau Sauvage and some different things like that. It's just absolutely fantastic. If you don't like Zeno, don't worry. This smells so much better that wouldn't bother you. Here's one that is well beloved in the fragrance community: Bentley for Men Intense. What Bentley for Men Intense, I believe, is just kind of a stripped down, watered down version of Heritage. It's that, it's got that boozy, leathery, woody, spicy thing going on. So this, like, if you like this, but you're ready for something a little more sophisticated, a little more classy, or a lot more classy, then I think you would really like Heritage. Here's another gem that I've found lately, Cadillac for Men. And it kind of fits in there. It has a little bit of a raspberry note. It's almost like taking It's kind of like a modern touch on this fragrance. Oh, and that's a real good one. If you're looking for something different to add to your collection. But this is the star. It's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Projection, you can smell it. It'll fill the room. Performance, it'll last all day, 10 hours or more. If you spray it on clothes, you can smell it for days. So the projection, the performance, the perfume itself, it smells absolutely fantastic. And then the price, you can pick this up for $50, sometimes less. Sometimes you can get, I know you can usually get, this is 100 ml, you can get a 50 ml bottle for like $40 or less. I think when I bought this one, I was able to get this bottle for like $35. Now the prices have went up since then. This bottle's probably 2 years old. But even at $50 or $60, it's a steal. I think Guerlain has it listed as like 100 and 110 on their website, something like that. And it's worth that. It's worth full price if you couldn't buy it at a discounter. But the great thing is you can. And many times you can find it in a tester. It'll come usually without the cap. And this is their signature line, their classic line, and they all come in the same bottle. I wish it was in a different bottle. I really like the Long Medial bottles, the short, stubby, square bottles. So this version of the fragrance, the packaging, I would say, is maybe not a 10 out of 10, but overall, from the opening to the mid to the dry down to the quality, this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance that if you're a collector, you have to own it. I'm gonna say this one is for 30 and up. If you're younger than that and you really have a taste for classic men's perfumery, then you can definitely buy it and wear it and rock it, and you'll smell different. You'll smell better than everybody around you. But I would say particularly probably going to appeal more to 35 and up, something like that. But again, it's just outrageously good. It's a classic from the House of Guerlain Heritage. My favorite version is the Eau de Toilette. I have the Eau de Parfum as well. It's not as smooth to me. It's a little rougher. There is tobacco noted in it, and it's amped up. A lot of people prefer it, but I really, really, really love the Eau de Toilette. All right. Like the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. Whether you love it, whether you hate it. I don't care. Everybody smells and enjoys different things. Tell me what you think about it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Help us grow the smallest fragrance review channel on YouTube. All right, till we see you down the road, God bless. Frag on, Frag fam.